up-to-date coverage near you.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
Follow News 1226 on Twitter to keep informed with the latest happening near you.
From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
And we begin with breaking news first at 5. Governor Brian Kemp just announcing in the last half hour, all Georgians 16 and older can start getting the COVID vaccine this Thursday. Governor Kemp says it's because most of our vulnerable populations have already been vaccinated. More than 1 million of the state's seniors have received at least one dose, accounting for 71% of seniors in the state. Governor Kemp says we're seeing less demand in certain areas, but getting more allocation of the vaccine every week. Listen.
We cannot afford to have vaccines sitting in the freezers, whether it's in metro Atlanta or rural Georgia. If you are currently eligible for vaccination, please make your appointment. If none are available today or tomorrow, go ahead and make an appointment for next week or 2 weeks down the road, whatever the case may be.
So a reminder, you can sign up for your vaccine and pre-register at myvaccinegeorgia.com. I want to give you a live look now at the White House, where President Biden has ordered flags to be flown at half-staff. This is in the wake of a deadly mass shooting at a Colorado grocery store. The president addressed the country earlier today, offering condolences to the families of those 10 people who were killed yesterday at a supermarket in Boulder. A suspect is now in custody. Witnesses are describing sheer terror inside the store, some scrambling to find places to hide, while others escaped from any exit they could find. Jonathan Bigliotti has the latest from Colorado.
Denny Strong, 20 years old. Nevin Studinsky, 23.
Authorities in Colorado read the names of the victims in Monday's mass shooting at a supermarket in Boulder, promising justice for their families.
I feel numb. And it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to talk to victims, their families. It's tragic.
The 21-year-old suspected shooter, identified as Ahmed Alissa, has been charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. Police say he used an AR-15 rifle to gun down multiple people, including 51-year-old officer Eric Talley, a father of 7, who joined the Boulder Police Department in 2010.
He's a very kind man, and he didn't have to go into policing. He had a profession before this, but he felt a higher calling, and he was willing to die to protect others.
Inside the store, Ryan Borowski says no one knew what was going on.
Heard, one loud bang. Thought somebody just dropped something, an employee or something, and then another. And then by the third one, everybody was running.
President Biden called on Congress to act following the grocery store shooting and the spa shootings in the Atlanta area just 6 days ago.
I don't need to wait another minute, let alone an hour, to take common sense steps that will save the lives in the future.
Monday's attack was the 7th mass killing in the U.S. this year. Investigators have not established a motive, but are looking into whether the suspect was suffering from some type of mental illness at the time. Jonathan Bigliotti, CBS News, Boulder, Colorado.
Former President Obama also released a statement on the shooting, saying in part, we should not have to choose between one type of tragedy and another. It is a normal that we can no longer afford, he went on to say. The Senate Judiciary Committee is holding a hearing on ways to reduce gun violence. That meeting was scheduled before the mass shooting in Boulder. Chairman of the committee, Senator Dick Durbin, is calling for a moment of action.
These victims and their loved ones are worthy of our thoughts and our prayers. But there's more that's required. We face a pandemic of coronavirus. We have another epidemic in America called guns.
Earlier this month, the House passed 2 bills that would expand background checks for firearm sales. The first phase of former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin's trial is over. The court selected 15 people to serve on that jury. They have not been identified, but we do know 6 men and 9 women are selected. Opening statements in Officer Chauvin's trial are set for Monday. He pled not guilty to murder and manslaughter charges in the death of George Floyd last year. Right now to weather, and First Alert Chief Meteorologist Riley Hill is standing by with a closer look at what to expect this afternoon. Riley, from that shot, looks pretty good out there.
Hey, another beautiful afternoon for us, Richard. We're seeing a good mix of sunshine and clouds out there. We're calling partly cloudy and high temperatures today, actually getting close to 80 again for us here in Augusta. We're currently at 76 degrees, but it have been as high as 78. We actually have a treat this evening. We have some college baseball going on at SRP Park. Gates are now open. First pitch is at 6:35, and through game time, we're expecting temps to remain in the 70s and 60s. So we'll just gradually be falling to the 60s as we head towards midnight tonight. So fairly warm, staying dry for any evening plans that you may have. Here's a look at our current temperatures across the board: 75 in Aiken, 73 in Evans. Augusta is one of those warmer spots at 76, but Louisville, you're coming in at 77 this afternoon. We've seen a good bit of sunshine, but more cloud cover is starting to show up, and this is a sign of some changes that will be heading our way late tonight into Wednesday. You can see that batch of rain off towards our west. That could bring us a few showers rolling into your morning commute tomorrow. We'll have much more on that coming up in the full forecast.
Riley, thank you. A school year unlike any other as students face learning from home and adjusting to what's now the new normal in classrooms. In just a few hours, the Aiken County School Board will talk about millions of dollars in funding for a summer school program. As Wrdw explains, the program would stay in place for the next 3 years.
It's been a tough year for students all around. Some have fallen behind and courses are harder to pass. Tonight, the Aiken County Board of Education is discussing funding programs to help bring some relief to students and teachers across Aiken County schools. As the school year winds down, many students and parents are left wondering how to make up for low grades. According to their agenda, the school board is working to fund a summer school program. The plan is to combat COVID-related learning loss over the next 3 years. Nearly $10 million will go towards the program, focusing on math, reading, and comprehension skills. In January, the board voted to give an option to middle school students to recover up to 3 courses instead of 2 over the summer. This new program is open to all students in Aiken County, elementary through high school, with individualized help in areas where students need it most. Parents say without these kinds of programs, students will just keep falling further behind.
I feel mine has been hindered a little bit. So if that is something offered, I would love that for him to be able to actually catch up with what he might have missed.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, we hear from a teacher and her struggles working for the school system during a difficult year. Reporting in Aiken County, Wrdw on your side.
Also today, the city of Augusta taking steps to address blight properties again. This time, it's in the form of a blight task force. This task force consists of representatives from several city organizations, including the Land Bank Authority, Code Enforcement, the Marshal's Office, as well as Planning and Development. For the first time, all these organizations working together to find solutions to the county's blight problems. The task force chairman and Deputy Tax Commissioner Chris Johnson says removing dilapidated properties from neighborhoods could have a huge economic benefit.
We have a significant amount of blight in the area, and it didn't get here overnight, and unfortunately we won't be able to get rid of it overnight. However, I think that in the short term, we can make some good short-term goals that make a significant dent.
And that's going to be good news in a lot of neighborhoods. This is not the first time or the first step the city has taken to eliminate blight. And coming up here at 6 o'clock, we're going to take a closer look at the cost and how the task force plans to create more progress on this issue. So if you want to get the COVID vaccine, there are several clinics happening this week. Tomorrow, Aiken Regional giving vaccines from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon. They're going to be administering more than 1,200 doses of the Moderna vaccine. You can head to Aiken Regional's website and sign up there. In Georgia, 2 clinics at AU's Washington Square location. Those are happening Thursday and then again on Saturday. To register for that, head to augustahealth.org. All this information, of course, is up on our website right now for you. If you need a ride to your clinic, Augusta Transit will take you there for free. Every route except for the Brown Line passes by a vaccine site. Buses will stop at each site along the way. There are stops at CVS, Walgreens, Kroger, Walmart, and more. Each location requires appointments in advance, and this is all being provided through CARES Act funding. Another reminder that tickets are on sale for the Battle on the River Rivalry Peach Belt Conference. This is a partnership with the USC Aiken Pacers and the Augusta University Jaguars. Fans need to visit greenjacketsbaseball.com to buy those tickets. You cannot order tickets over the phone or in person like in previous years, but these tickets are sold in pods of 2, 3, and 4. The cost is $13 or $10 for lower seats. The game is March 30th with gates opening at 5:30 that afternoon. If you're looking for a job, listen up. Today through Thursday, the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice hosting an online hiring event. The DJJ says they're holding interviews for multiple full-time positions all across the state. Registration is open on their website. We have a link for that for you on ours, wrdw.com. Okay, for all the runners out there, a familiar race is set to happen next month. The Chocolate Run in Statesboro usually draws 600 to 700 racers in February. That was pushed until April 25th of this year because of COVID. They're also going to offer a virtual registration for people who want to take part but aren't comfortable yet in a group setting. All the proceeds benefit Open Hearts Community Mission. That is a homeless shelter. So big news coming out of Statesboro for that. Well, check this out. Eudora Farms adding new things to their safari as well as more exotic animals. Boy, talk about a blast from the past there. Right now, they're having a dinosaur show. You can experience lifelike dinosaurs. The shows are taking place through April. They also have a nature walk where you can take a stroll and learn about animals all around you.
We had such a great response during last year, and we're now trying to add new facilities that'll make people more comfortable and to also give them new things.
Watch out there. Don't feed the dinosaurs. Eudora Farms is in Sally, South Carolina. Head to their website to find out more. Pet owners, we know every day is a celebration of our furry friends, but today is even more special because this is National Puppy Day. It might not be in the calendar, but it should be. Check out these pups. Some of you have been sitting in some pictures of these sweet faces. That guy looks like he's ready to go for a walk right there. A lot of you sitting in pictures of your favorite furry friend. This guy's tired after a long walk. He just wanted to ride home in the back seat of the car. He's a cutie, though. National Puppy Day started back in 2006 as a way to increase awareness about puppy mills and orphan pups. It's meant to encourage more people to get out, open the home, and adopt. You will not be sorry. A big day here, a return to some normalcy as people start to fill SRP Park Stadium right now. They are hosting the Clemson University Tigers and my Georgia Southern Eagles for a baseball game. Those gates opened about an hour ago, and the first pitch set to take place at 6:35. Looks like those Eagles are on the field doing a little infield work right now, but Riley, it's good to see the guys back in the park for what should be a beautiful night. And we'll talk weather coming up in just a moment. It's first city in the nation to give money to black residents as a form of reparations. How that's going to work and what critics and supporters have to say coming up next, first at 5. Riley?
Richard, looking good for anyone heading out to SRP Park tonight, and mostly dry the next few days before higher rain chances later this week. Have a look at that in the full forecast next.
The pandemic fallout could last for a lifetime.
Death is not the only outcome from this disease.
Local survivors flooding the I-team with tales of debilitating symptoms. Locked in limbo, Thursday on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Until Jack Boy wins for you.
The call is free, the consultation is free, and you pay us nothing until we win for you.
First to 5, a Chicago suburb becomes the first U.S. city to pay reparations to black families. Supporters say it's a step toward justice for residents suffering from the lingering effects of slavery. But as Femi Redwood explains, critics say the new program excludes a big portion of families.
For decades, black families in Evanston, Illinois could only live in this red area, a practice known as redlining. Now in an 8-1 vote, city officials have agreed to a reparations program that would pay $400,000 to black residents harmed by discriminatory housing practices between 1919 and 1959. Vanessa Johnson McCoy says her parents struggled to find a home in the 1950s.
The banks would not allow them to, they wouldn't give them money to buy outside of this area. It was very challenging.
Evanston's program offers eligible families up to $25,000, which can be used for things like home repairs, down payments, or mortgage payments.
Anything that can be done to help repair that is great, and it's deserved, and it's overdue.
Support for local and national reparations appears to be growing. At least 4 U.S. cities are considering following Evanston's lead, and so is the Episcopal Church. Several dioceses have publicly stated they were founded by money accumulated through slavery. But there is pushback, even from black residents. An Evanston City Council member who opposed the program says it's paternalistic.
What we are missing here is allowing the people to dictate the terms how they are repaired. Instead of cash payments or other options that respect the humanity and self-determination of black people and allow them to determine how best to repair themselves, the housing program is restrictive.
The group Evanston's Rejects Racist Reparations agrees.
it leaves out a whole demographic of individuals who can no longer use this program. Senior citizens who no longer have a home. If you qualify and you have moved out of Evanston, you can still receive the $25,000, but you have to spend that money inside of Evanston.
They say it would be more accurate to call it a housing program and not reparations.
Also, some breaking news to pass along. Just coming into our newsroom, we're learning about a fire at a home in Johnston on Pecan Street this afternoon. It happened around 1:45. An employee at a neighboring business says flames were shooting through the roof of the home. They believe this home is a complete loss. Both Edgefield and Johnston fire departments are responding to the fire. We're going to let you know just as soon as we learn more about this fire going on this afternoon. Going to take a quick look outside now. Beautiful sky out there as we check in with First Alert meteorologist Riley Hale. And Riley, are those storm clouds brewing, or you got a little rain there on the radar this afternoon?
Yeah, no rain on the radar this afternoon, so don't be fooled by the clouds out there. We're not expecting any rain to show up through this evening, but late tonight into early Wednesday, there will be the potential for a few showers. But luckily, if you're heading out to SRP Park this evening for some college baseball, first pitch at 6:35 between Clemson and Georgia Southern. Should be a nice one out there. We're currently at 76 degrees inside the metro and expect those temperatures to stay in the 70s up until around sunset. Past sunset will likely just gradually drop through the 60s up until around midnight. Then late tonight into early tomorrow morning, most likely see low temperatures bottom out into the mid-50s. We have been tracking some cloud cover that's been showing up as we progress through the day. This is all thanks to our next approaching rainmaker that could potentially bring us just a few hit or miss showers late tonight and for the first half of your Wednesday tomorrow. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So we're jumping ahead to after midnight and just before sunrise Wednesday. A few isolated showers, nothing all too widespread and nothing too heavy. And rain chances currently looking highest for central and northern counties in the CSRA. So the further south you go, the less of a chance you have to likely see a shower on Wednesday. And then everybody should stay generally dry Wednesday afternoon. Another warm one for us with high temperatures getting close to 80 again for your Wednesday. On Thursday, we're going to hang on to the cloud cover, but not much rain in the forecast on Thursday. Just very warm. Take a look at these high temperatures by the time we get to Thursday afternoon. We're expecting to be about 10 to 15 degrees above average, hitting highs into the mid to upper 80s. So definitely some warm air to be found later this week. Tomorrow morning, those low temperatures will be down into the mid-50s, so not too much of a chill out there early on tomorrow morning. We will have the risk for a few isolated showers late tonight. That would be after midnight for us, and that will just continue into the first half here Wednesday. Wednesday afternoon should be dry for us. Those high temperatures looking pretty warm again tomorrow. Should be able to see the upper 70s out there for many of us. Here's a look at the spread in those high temperatures for your Wednesday. Remember, normal this time of year is low 70s, so we're going to be a little bit above average and only expecting those to get even warmer heading into our Thursday. Now, rain chances relatively low the next couple days if you want to just knock the pollen off your car. Just a few isolated showers Wednesday into Thursday, but not much out there. The higher rain chance definitely going to head our way Friday. Friday into the weekend, we're going to be tracking a little bit stronger front that will bring us widespread rain, potentially maybe a few thunderstorms as well. Just not anticipating a huge severe threat with that rain chance on Friday. But our temperatures remaining warm through the weekend should stay in the 80s for highs, and then next week, a little bit more of a cool down, highs back into the mid-70s by next Monday. Stick with us. We'll have much more news and weather just after a short break.
When you're hurting, happening now, South Carolina lawmakers debating the state's more than $9 billion budget. So what do you need to know about where your tax dollars are going? State House reporter Adam Minzer following us with those debates right now. And Adam, what's the latest from Columbia?
Richard, one of the biggest headlines to come out of today is the fact that if this budget were to pass, there would be a school nurse in every school in South Carolina. Right now, nearly 80 schools don't have a full-time school nurse as of September. But this bill even does more. It actually expands broadband to rural communities across the state and would expand 4K education to about 600 more students. I spoke to the budget chairman today. He said all of this is just the start.
We call this as the pandemic budget.
House Ways and Means Chairman Representative Merle Smith says for now the budget is just addressing the state's immediate needs. That's because it's hard to predict how much the state will have to spend next year because of COVID-19.
So this is a conservative, cautious budget
hoping that we're going to continue with our revenue improvements that we've seen, and then we'll come back in May or June and we will try again at this budget.
But Smith says improving education is a main priority of the budget. In particular, $5.5 million for school nurses.
It's been a priority over the years. Unfortunately, we have not concentrated and fulfilled that priority, but the COVID pandemic gave us the impetus to make sure that we completed that.
And $30 million for expanding internet access to rural communities.
What we're doing is devote all that is going to be placing broadband into those deserts of South Carolina right now that most critically need broadband.
But for some people, this bill actually doesn't go far enough. They wish this budget did more for education. I spoke to freshman Representative Jermaine Johnson. Johnson says when you compare the $30 million that's going to broadband versus the $90 million that's going to the Department of Corrections, he feels like right now when it comes to students and education, we're focusing on the symptoms, not the problem. Republicans say that there's more work to be done. This whole bill can be rewritten in June. Reporting live from the South Carolina State House, Adam Mintzer on your side.
Thanks as always, Adam, for the live update there from Columbia.
Riley?
Hey, Richard, we have our friend back on our Aiken Tower cam. How about this? Genevieve hanging out on a beautiful afternoon over Aiken County. Now look at that forecast for you just after the break.
It's amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Well, it's been another beautiful day for us. Genevieve is enjoying it over Aiken County, looking at our live eye camera network here. A little bit of a breeze. You can see those feathers going around just a little bit, but not quite as breezy as what we've seen the past few days. We're close to 80 this afternoon here in Augusta and expect to be right back up into the upper 70s for our Wednesday. But take a look at Thursday. We're potentially talking highs in the mid to upper 80s and very little rain chances on Thursday, but watch out for a few isolated showers heading into our Wednesday.
Join us this coming Sunday at 11 a.m. for more in a way of life for